right, welcome back to Top 5 Vinyl, where we show love to vinyl owners. Today I'm here with Leigh. How's it going, Leigh?
It's good. How's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. Before we get started, I want everybody to subscribe, like the channel, tell all your cool friends, all that fun YouTube stuff. Leigh, can you tell me the last vinyl album that you bought?
Um, I was like a couple of weeks ago, I went to Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
So I checked out a record store when I was there, and I got two albums. One is like I just got for fun because it was something I listened to as a kid. It was
Hmm.
Mellow Man Ace, and the song was like Mentirosa. I think that means like a liar.
Hmm.
Hopefully I'm saying that correctly in Spanish. And but the song is like really kind of corny, but I just had to get it when I saw the
Hmm.
album. Plus, it had this really funny sticker on it that said, "Yo, this album is mine," or something like
Hmm.
that, like the
Hmm.
previous owner had. So I thought it was funny. And the other one that I purchased is Buena Vista Social Club,
Okay.
and it's their 25th anniversary of their self-titled album that came
Hmm.
out, and it was actually playing in the store, and the owner didn't want to sell it at first, but
Really?
then he sold it to me because one they had one copy on the floor that was like reserved for someone, so I asked
Hmm.
about that one, but then he was like, "Well, we're actually playing it. I wasn't even paying attention," and he's like, "We're
Hmm.
actually playing it right now," but he was acting like he didn't want to part with it, but then he sold it to me, so
Hmm.
we
Okay.
looked at the price up on Discogs on the spot. Like he's like, I'm not just saying this to upcharge you or
Right. Right.
whatever. And so yeah, I got it, and it's a nice album. It's
Okay.
very nice.
And that's interesting because I've seen a lot of times people either want to ship albums or, get receive an album. How hard was it to, because you went from Puerto Rico to home, was it hard to like get that back home without it breaking? Like how'd that process go?
Yeah, every time I go on a trip, I go to the record store, and so, but it's always been a little issue with me. I just kind of make room in my suitcase, but like around like it's not the best thing, but nothing is ever broken ever. But
Mm,
I just move clothes around and like put a little cushion around it. But
okay.
if it's to the place where I've packed my suitcase to the brim, sometimes I'll just take it on in a bag in my hand on through the airport.
Mm,
Like
mm,
with my
okay.
carry on stuff.
Okay. That's cool.
But yeah, because when I went to Toronto, I got a good amount of albums, and that was the only time I was really worried about my suitcase
Mm,
because there really wasn't any room for it, but I just made the room somehow, and everything is yeah. I don't want to jinx it, but it's always made it back pretty safely.
okay. That's cool. That's cool. You found the process. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first vinyl album that you ever bought?
I really don't remember the first one. I didn't. I think I started collecting. Well, I know I started collecting in my early 20s when I moved into the city because I was in Silver Spring before that. But I moved into DC,
Mm,
and I used to always hang out at this like bar in Adams Morgan, and across the street they had a CD game exchange.
mm,
It's kind of like a CD depot. They had stuff like that in the DC area. And so the store's no longer there, but I used to go in there. And back then, I only bought used stuff. I didn't buy any reissues or anything of like newer vinyl. So I would always buy stuff like it had to be something like Intervisions by Stevie Wonder,
mm,
or like Songs of the Key of Life, because
mm,
the bar across the street before they usually play reggae, but before the reggae comes on at night, the bartender used to play like like classics soul type of thing. And
mm.
I really like Intervisions is one of my favorites. So I know that
Yeah.
was one of the ones I got
Okay.
there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Growing up, was there a record player in the house?
Um, my mom had some old albums. If there was a record player, it probably wasn't a working,
Mm,
functioning record player.
okay.
But I know that as a kid, I got started with like my grandmother had all these Brooke Benton albums, like really old music.
Mm,
And she asked me, I was trying to make some extra money, so she said, if you could put these albums on a tape for
huh.
me. But I just honestly, I can't. She had a record player, I guess, because I had to do that with something. I remember it was this big, huge box, like turntable we moved over somewhere.
Mm.
But like, I still don't know how I accomplished that task, but I did it. But it took me a really long time, and it was all for like $20. But,
Mm.
but,
Wow.
but I mean, that's how much I got paid for the
Right.
job.
Right.
But I don't know how I did it. Like, I can't remember. I don't know. I was thinking about this before, and I really don't know how I did it. But I think we didn't have one. Basically, I grew up in like when people were starting to move towards, I guess, out of CD, moved in CDs and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But my mom definitely has a lot of albums because she gave me some of hers. Like
Mm.
she really used to like the Jimi Hendrix Experience albums, so she gave me some
Okay.
of those. And we grew up with like Delphonics in the house all the time, but I don't think she
Hmm.
was playing it on vinyl.
Okay.
So
Okay. And
yeah.
and like when you physically buy vinyl, do you have like a favorite record store to go to?
I have a lot of them for different reasons, but
Mm,
like I like Joe's Record Paradise in Silver Spring. I don't get to go there very often, but every time I do, I get a bunch of good stuff. And
mm,
it used to have its storefront like closer to the DC line, but now it's like it's the downtown Silver Spring, and it's downstairs at the bottom of a bank.
mm,
And they've just got really good stuff like hidden gems and like anything you can think of, they've got it somewhere. It's a big store,
mm,
but big store with a lot of I don't really see many reissues there. I think everything in there is
mm,
used,
mm. Okay.
and I like that store. And what else? There's a new black owned store they put over by Howard that I think has really good music called Decibel Music,
Okay.
and am I saying that right? Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. And and so they have a lot of stuff, especially because now I want to start buying more jazz, and they have
Mm,
a good jazz selection,
mm.
and they're really helpful if I ask questions about stuff. So I like that store too.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Lee, being that this is top five vinyl, can you show me number five? What is the fifth album that you have in front of you?
Yeah, this is the hardest, really hard thing for me to do. And because I just tend to overthink a lot of stuff anyway. So it was hard. But this one, I actually was thinking about this before some some events happened that like this week that with the first one is live from New Orleans, Maze featuring Frankie Beverly.
Mm, mm,
And so I was actually trying to figure out what my top five would be, and I knew I wanted to include a Maze album. And then yesterday, Frankie Beverly passed away,
right.
so it just seemed like I was like, well, I'm definitely gonna include it now. But I mean, I love this album. It has some of the classic. I mean, some of the things that everybody knows, like the classics, like there's Joy and Pain on here and things like that. But it has a lot of B-side type songs too, like You and Changing Times. And then the other thing about this, it's a live album, but on this pressing they have like some songs that they added before I let go, because I watched a live concert of this on YouTube, and they don't perform that song in the live concert,
Mm,
so they added like extra
mm.
songs onto
Okay.
on like side four. But here's
Hmm.
the inside of it,
Okay.
and in the back. But yeah, and then this is definitely what he wore when I watched it on
Hmm.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
watched it a couple of times before. I mean, and they were his voice was like in rare form at that time, or like peak at its peak, and the band was really great, and they just had a really good chemistry. So it's a really good album.
Nice. Okay. And you sparked another question I'd love to ask. Have you seen any of your top five live before?
Yeah, I have. Oh, I've seen Maze about four
Okay.
times,
Mm,
and I actually went to the farewell tour. So I saw Frankie Beverly perform in DC in June. So that
okay.
was his very last show, obviously. So I'm just really, really glad that I made it to that. But
Mm,
for the other artists, I've seen like I don't want to give up. I guess not give away my choices
mm,
yet, but I've seen one one of them, and the other one actually other first people I actually interviewed when I was in college, because I
oh
used to do
wow.
the music reviews, but it was
Okay.
like a long time ago.
Hmm.
But I've only seen, yeah, so I saw one group live,
Okay. All
and
right, cool.
Maze.
You have to share who the interview was with and who you saw live when we get there.
Okay.
Okay. So that was your number five. Let's go ahead and take a look at your number four.
Okay, so number four is was this the order? Let me do. Okay, sorry. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. Is it? I guess it is counting down. So just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
making sure it was the right order. This is the Above the Rim soundtrack.
Mm, okay.
I just really like soundtracks, especially like the '90s ones, and just movie soundtracks in general. And so this one has it's basically done by Death Row, and it has like my favorite song on here is Big Pimpin'.
Mm,
Like I guess this is the original Big Pimpin'. This was before
mm-hmm.
Jay Z's
Mm-hmm.
version. This is the with Snoop and everybody, a Dog Pound. And yeah, so but I thought this was one of those I bought this on Record Store Day like a couple of years back. It was one of those Record Store Day editions, and the inside is really cool, like stuff
Mm,
from the movie.
mm, mm.
And the album is like they got it's
Huh.
yellow and orange. Sometimes I feel like the colored albums don't play as well as like the
Mm,
black vinyl, but I mean this is fine. I think when I said that I had an older turntable, I have a better one
mm,
now, but it
mm,
could really be the turntable.
mm.
But yeah, I thought this was pretty cool, because I mean I just when people see that I have this, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they have that on vinyl, like because it's just not something you would think of having.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. Okay.
yeah.
All right, cool. That was your number four. Who do we
Okay.
have for number three?
Okay. So for number three, we have Nerd in Search of.
Okay.
And that's the first Nerd album that they
Yep.
have. I played this like a lot in college. I mean, a whole lot. And I still play this. Like when I went to Puerto Rico, I played this when I was sitting at the beach. Like you're just like relaxing. It just has that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was playing on my headphones, but yeah, I really love this album. It's just a classic, and I didn't get on vinyl till fairly recently. I have the CD,
Mm.
and I also have like a promotional copy, but it doesn't have all the songs on it. So I
Mm.
just made sure I bought this fairly recently. That's why I still have the plastic on it. And sometimes I keep the plastic on stuff anyway. But yeah, so this is a great album to
Nice.
me. It's a personal favorite for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I don't know. And the album cover is pretty cool. I always
Yeah.
like that cover.
Yeah. That's a great album cover. Yep.
Yeah, a couple of years back, they recreated the picture, and I thought that was funny. And
Mm.
the guy didn't really age much either, Shay.
Shay. Yep.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. So that was your number three.
I feel like I'm going through this pretty fast. So this is three.
Let's take a look at your number two.
All right, my number two is Sade Love
Mm.
Deluxe.
Okay.
And this is just a beautiful album, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Just a classic. I mean, there's not much to say, but this is just like every song is wonderful and intentionally good. And it's probably one of our most commercially popular albums, but it doesn't matter to me because it's the best. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's really that good. I mean, they're all good, but it's it's just so good. And even the
Yeah.
songs that are not like the big singles are really good. Like I like Bulletproof Soul and Couldn't Love You More, my favorites.
Mm.
And yeah, and it's just a great album. And I got this one I got like I'd never had this one on its own. I got it when I bought the box set of the Sade albums.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this one came from the box set, but some of the other ones I already had before I got the box. But yeah.
Mm.
So
Okay. Nice.
I don't know if there's anything else to say here, but this is just a great album.
It is. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And for the grand finale.
Okay, so the grand finale is um, the infamous
Okay.
Mob Deep. This album is wonderful, perfect, start to finish, and it's just like the samples, the production is amazing, and I mean it's just raw and like I don't know, I just love it. I mean, and I
Mm-hmm.
have memories attached to it. Like friends, my friend used to play it like every morning before school because like
Mm-hmm.
I used to catch a bus at her house for like 1 year. I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember why I had to go to her house in the morning, but oh, I think we had moved or something, and
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to my friend's house to catch this bus or something. But we played this album every day. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we wore it out to the point where it drove my brother crazy. Like, even though he loves the album, but it's just like he was just like, "Come on, how many times do you gonna listen to
Right.
it?"
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's great. I do think this pressing is like it was. I got it on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and it just sounded really bad or something was
Mm.
off with it. And I wrote them. It's the first time I've ever left a bad review, and so they sent me another one.
Mm. Any
And so
difference?
it was different. I think something
Okay.
was wrong with it. Something maybe it was the
Okay.
way it got here or something. But
Mm.
it was cool that they actually do that. If
Right.
you said that,
Right.
so I don't know what else to say here. I mean, it's just got samples from like Minnie Riperton's. I mean, not Minnie Riperton. Sorry, that's different. What you call it? Patrice Rushen
Mm-hmm.
samples and
Mm-hmm.
like uh what's his name? You're My Starship. Norman Connors.
Mm-hmm.
It's just beautiful. Like the way what they did with this is just great album.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
And
that's one of my favorites. Yep.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. All
I
right.
mean, I
Cool.
can't believe I hit five already.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was good. That was a good five. Appreciate it. So yeah,
Okay.
Lee, I just want to thank you so much for your time,
All
and
right. Thank
we'll talk.
you.
We'll
Thank you for
talk
having me. This
soon.
is really fun and it was a cool thing to do.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It was fun.
All right.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks.
Right.